I'm making this video for you if you are an illustrator looking for more work and you're seeing other illustrators and like, how are they getting these jobs? What is going on? Like, what is the thing that they're doing that I'm not doing? I've narrowed it down into 6 steps that I do that you could do to find more work, find regular clients and recurring inquiries, which is the basis of a healthy freelance business. Also want to talk about why social media is not as important as some people might be telling you. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can hit the magical bell thing, the subscribe button. So this is the stuff that's taken me from frustrated nanny. I was earning £75 a week for a very long time, not making any progress with my creative work, to now where I'm working for clients like Netflix, Google, Meta, lots of UK universities and brands and things like that. And I have a team of 20 illustrators who work for me all around the world. I've accidentally started an agency because I got so good, I got obsessed. I got so good at the marketing and the figuring out how to get more work. So take what you want, leave the rest. Hopefully some of it is helpful. Yeah, this is the stuff that I wish somebody had told me in like 2016. It would have been really helpful. So let's get into it. Overall, in illustration, in terms of like finding work, there's 2 umbrellas. There is the umbrella of you going out and finding the work, and then there's the other umbrella of clients coming to you asking you if you can do the work. I'm going to talk about a combination of the 2 methods, the 2 umbrellas that I talked about there. Your personality will be different. You can choose which one works best for you. You might be more of an introvert, you might hate talking to people, or you might be like, I want to talk to people, I want to be emailing and phoning. Personally, not my scene, but you do you. The first thing is I want you to put yourself in your client's shoes. Imagine what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what are they worried about when they're searching for somebody to do the job that they have in mind. Because that empathy, that ability for you to be your client is the gold dust that is going to make your marketing, anything you put out there, stand out more than anything else you've ever written or done before. Would you trust yourself with a big commission? Look at your website. I hope you have a website, by the way. Look at your website with outside eyeballs. Like, what are they seeing when they go on there? Are you saying, either directly or indirectly, I can do the job, you can trust me to do the job, here's evidence that I've done it, here's my work, here's what I do, here's why I'm an expert at what I do? Because otherwise, there's so many websites I go on and you click on and you just can't even see the work, although it's just work and there's no words and they're very mysterious and you don't know who they are or what they're about. So yeah, don't be scared to be yourself on your website and to talk about your beliefs, your values, because that is all the extra stuff that's going to help people be like, this is the illustrator for my job. This is the ideal person that I want to work with. Clients are humans, and as humans, we're basically caveman and we're very risk averse. We do not want to take risks. So anything you can do to alleviate that feeling of like, oh, I'm really taking a chance for this person's work is going to stand you in good stead. So things like I mentioned, showing that you can do a really good job, showing your best work, the work you want to do more of. Any testimonials you have from clients are golden. Just think, what would calm you down if you were a panicky potential client? Okay, and put that on your website. And don't be shy to put more. More is more, I would say, in this category of website additions. Step 3 on this, I'm going to talk about embracing the chicken and egg thing, because I know it's so frustrating when you haven't started yet and clients can't give you a chance because they're scared, but you haven't been given a chance, so you can't show them you can do it. You kind of have to embrace this really awkward, clunky stage in your illustration career. It happens to everybody. Everybody goes through it. But if you take a proactive approach, which you're already doing because you're watching this video, like videos like this, you can create your dream jobs. Like, what do you want to be doing more of, and do that. You might have heard people talk about passion projects. That's a brilliant place to start. Like when I was at university, they would give us a magazine article and be like, illustrate that. And then you mock it up, make it look real, and put it on your website. And we've had a lot of, like, the students would say, when I was a lecturer, they'd say like, is this okay? Like, am I like lying about what I've done? But really, it's your work. It's your work. And you can say that it was a self-initiated project. You're not breaking any rules. Don't come at me if that is a rule. I'm pretty sure it's not a rule, like, because the article is out there. You're not selling it to make money. You're literally just putting it on your website saying, look what I can do. Sometimes people get around this first hurdle by working for free. I've heard lots of good arguments like for and against working for free, but really, I feel like it's not the best unless you're working for yourself. If you are the client and you're doing dream work that you love doing and you're having a brilliant time, then it's good. Because any time that I've worked for free for somebody else, it's never ever gone well. And I've not done it very many times because luckily I was surrounded by fellow illustrators, mentors who were like, what are you doing? Stop. And yeah, you might hear somebody say, if you do this job for free, I'll give you loads more work, paid work. Never has happened in my life. So you can ignore if people say that. So do work for free, but only for yourself. Work for yourself for free, because obviously you're not going to pay yourself, but you're paying yourself with time, with prioritizing your creative work, with putting your dreams at the front of your focus. It's a very worthy thing to do. And it's hard. Like, the reason that not everybody is doing this is because it is hard, because not everybody takes a chance on themselves and puts their work first and thinks, I'm going to develop my portfolio and I'm going to share it. And that's worth mentioning as well. That's two separate things. Working on your portfolio, very well and good. Sharing it, whole another kettle of fish, because this bit is scary because people are going to see your work and judge your work. Maybe this is an extra step I'm adding in. We're on number 4. Your work will suck. And that's fine. It's totally, everybody's work sucks at some point. I look back on my work in the early days, even some of my recent work, sometimes I look at things I've done and I cringe, but at the same time, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I shared it and it's out in the world, because it still gets me more work. We'll talk more about how sharing my work gets me more work now. Where are you right now in your creative career? I'm always so nosy to hear about it, and I'd love to know, do you pitch for work, or do you have clients come to you? Which one works best for you? Tell me about it in the comments so that I can be nosy and I will chat to you about it. Let's go back to the umbrellas I was talking about. Let's talk about the pitching umbrella. This is where you are going out there directly contacting people that you'd like to work with. This one's not for the faint-hearted, but it can be very, very powerful if done well. Most illustrators start out finding work. It's kind of a rite of passage, so it's painful. It's not, well, maybe it's not painful. Some people are going to love this. And you can just become a detective. What work do you see? And you're like, oh, I wish I'd done that. That's so cool. Because then you can dig in. I remember being on a flight once, looking at the EasyJet magazine, and it had cool illustrations. And I was like, who did this work? And who's the editorial person? Who's the creative director of this magazine? Because their names and emails are in the front of the magazine. And even if their emails are not there, sometimes they're not, these people are going to be on LinkedIn. You'll be able to find them. This is where being a good human and being tactful and delicate is important, because you don't want to be a spam robot and be like, hello, hello, hello. It's just about finding ways to connect with people, share your work, show what you're available for. Be very, really do personalize it. Don't just copy paste the same message to a million people, because they can smell it a mile off. And don't expect a response because it happens. It's never ever personal. It's because the person's busy, they didn't see the email, maybe you went into spam, you don't even know what's going on in their life, maybe they don't even work there anymore. And if you're doing a rejections challenge, I've talked about that in other videos, that it's a brilliant way to clock up a load of rejections, because I would count it as a rejection until you've heard from them. So you can just be like, I sent the email, I've been rejected. And that's a really good way to do it, because then you're gamifying it and you're not crying about every time somebody's not replied to you. And then the other umbrella, this is my favorite umbrella. This is the umbrella where the client comes to you because they find you and they like your work. And you can already see, I'm sure you're an intelligent person, why this is more effective, because they're actively seeking you and they already like your work. So this means by the time they email you, they're pretty much sold. They're just like, I'm ready to work with you, take my money. When can you start? Are you available? That's the question. It's not how much it is, it's are you available? And this is through a combination of sharing your work a lot, not necessarily just on social media, although social media is lovely, it has its place. People still Google for everything, so think about that. What are you going to be Googling if you're looking for your work? If your dream clients are looking for your dream work, what will they be Googling? And then just make sure that you optimize the shit out of that on your website. It's much more relaxing than pitching, I find, and if you put in the work and figure out how to do it and do it well, you will be getting regular inquiries without having to post on social media, without having to pitch, without having to be on this treadmill of content creation and worrying where the next job's coming from, all that stuff. So yeah, you do of course still have to update your website. That goes without saying, but it's in terms of time and effort, this is updating a website and this is updating social media. Updating social media all the time is way harder than, tweaking your website, putting some new words on, putting some new pictures on. So we work smarter, not harder. Final point, I've lost track of the numbers. When I edit it, I'll know how many numbers we're up to, but Social media is not important as you think it is. I've touched on it a little bit before. You want to focus on the website, you want to focus on long form, long lasting things that live past, was it like 24 hours or something? Probably less on TikTok. I do use social media, obviously, but I just don't rely on it to get work. And to be honest, when people message me on social media about work, I'm a bit like, oh, why are you messaging me about work? This is like my fun place. This is the water cooler where I come to talk to other illustrators. I'm not here to talk about jobs. Social media, it's worth considering it as a place for clients to cross-check that you're not crazy, that you are real, you're not a scammer. Again, it's like building up the know, like, and trust so that they can trust you and work with you and have a nice time. So they might be on your website, click, 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 oh yes, lovely, oh, she's got social media, let's just see what's going on here. And if they go on there and it's completely private, that's going to be a bit like, what is, I don't even know who she is. Or if they go in there and it's just photos of your dog, again. And if they go in there and it's only portfolio images, nothing about you, nothing about your life, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But I, as a client, you kind of want a little sneaky peek, like a little bit behind the scenes is nice, and be like, oh, so that's who's doing the work, cool. Or like, oh, they knit, that's amazing. But yeah, whatever you do, just make sure you're mixing it up a bit. You're not showing just one thing and hiding yourself. It used to, like, actually it probably still is very cool to be aloof. But that very first point, put yourself in their shoes. How are they gonna read that? Like, what's that even gonna seem like to them? Because that's the superpower here. And then everything you create after that, you're gonna know like what they're worried about, what questions they have. And when clients do ask you questions, save those up and you can answer the questions in blogs, in pages on your website, in your illustration work itself. Yeah, it's magic. Okay, I didn't do any work. I thought I was going to do lots of illustrating while talking, but I cannot draw and talk at the same time. I'm painting on a window in Waterstones Piccadilly on Wednesday. So this is me, I'm like mocking up the design. It's for a Bloomsbury book. I'm very excited. Clang, just drop that in there. But yes, in conclusion, share your work, put yourself in your client's shoes, figure out what way of getting clients works best for you. Is it the pitching or is it the letting them come to you umbrella? And then just, hone in on your strengths, which one feels easiest. Whatever feels easy and fun, that's your strengths. You don't need to do a fancy personality test to find that out. Hone in on the stuff that feels fun and easy and good, and fingers crossed that the rest will be history and you'll be busy with lots of dream illustration commissions. Yeah, and I realize some of these points you might be like, how do I do that though? Like, what do I do? I'm a third of the Good Ship Illustration, and we've made a business course just for illustrators. We have other courses that are all about creating, like developing a portfolio, finding your creative voice, but this course, it's my favorite one because it's all about the business side of things, and it covers all of the stuff that I talked about in depth. We also we interview like illustrators who are at the top of their business game, asking them all their juicy secrets, how they got where they are, how they get clients and things. Yeah, it would be lovely to see you in there if you fancy it. We're launching again. I'm filming this in September. We're launching again in October, so it's good timing if you're seeing this now, fresh. But even if you're watching this a bit later on, I'll put a link so that you can read all about it and sign up to the waiting list. I'll put all the links down there. And yeah, thank you for watching. Nice to see you.